Hello and welcome back to the Mindwave Radio, where we explore what it truly means to raise children in a world that changes faster than we can scroll. And today's episode is close to the hearts of many. Maybe you're holding your phone while folding laundry. Maybe you're listening on your commute. Or while your toddler naps in the other room. Wherever you are, I see you. I honor your effort. And I invite you to take a deep breath. Because today we're talking about something both tender and powerful. Parenting in the digital age. The silent struggles, and the hidden joys. There was a time, and not too long ago, when parenting meant protecting your child from the outside world. You locked the doors at night. You taught them to look both ways before crossing the street. You held their hand in crowded places. Safety was something physical, visible, tangible. But things have changed. Today, a huge part of that outside world now lives inside our homes. It glows softly from tiny screens. It follows us into bedrooms, dinner tables, car rides, even the quiet spaces where we used to just be together. The digital age didn't knock politely. It barged in, sudden, loud, and uninvited. And most of us, we weren't ready. There was no handbook, no parenting class on YouTube, no gentle warning from the generation before us, because they never walked this path. Suddenly, we weren't just teaching our kids how to ride a bike, or tie their shoes, or be a good friend. We were teaching them how to stay kind in a comment thread, how to recognize a phishing link, how to handle rejection in a world where everything is seen, shared, liked, or ignored. We became the filter, the guide, the quiet protector in a place we couldn't always see. And somewhere in that whirlwind, we started carrying new questions, silently, often alone. How much screen time is too much? Am I being overprotective or not enough? Should I read their messages? What if something's wrong and they're not telling me? What if they're being bullied online and I have no idea? These aren't just questions. They're quiet weights, invisible burdens, the new responsibilities of modern parenting. No one sees them. The late night worries, the second guessing, the mental load of trying to stay one step ahead in a world that moves faster than you can breathe. But if you're feeling that weight, you are not alone. You are not failing. You are navigating a chapter of parenting no generation before you ever had to write. And even if it doesn't feel like it right now, the love, the presence, the trying, it matters more than you think. More than the latest app, more than any parental control, more than perfect answers. What matters most is that your child knows. You're there, not just watching, but listening. Not just worried, but caring. Not perfect, but present. That's where safety begins, and that's where connection grows. Even in this glowing, noisy, overwhelming world. Let's talk about screen time, the holy grail of parenting debates. We count the hours, we set the timers, we negotiate the limits, and we ask the question again and again, how much is too much? But maybe we've been asking the wrong question all along. Maybe it's not just how much time they spend on screens. Maybe the better question is, what are they gaining or losing during those hours? Because not all screen time is created equal. There's a difference, a real, felt difference, between a 5-year-old giggling with delight at an interactive storybook and a 5-year-old glassy-eyed, slouched in front of an endless reel of unboxing videos. There's a world of difference between a teenager staying up late to build a game from scratch and one mindlessly doom-scrolling until their sense of self-worth evaporates into comparison and curated perfection. So instead of counting minutes, maybe we should start measuring meaning. Ask yourself, is this screen expanding their world, sparking wonder, feeding curiosity? Or is it numbing, replacing, distracting them from it? Is technology helping your child connect? To you, to others, to themselves? Or is it becoming the wall they hide behind when emotions get too big and words feel too hard? And here's a question that stings a little more. What about us? Because our kids are watching us more than we think. They see the way we scroll at red lights. They notice when our eyes drift to the screen mid-conversation. They feel it. That moment we ask them to put the device down. While we can't seem to look away from ours, we can talk all we want about screen limits, but our children will mirror what we model, not what we mandate. So maybe the real digital challenge isn't just our kids' screen time. Maybe it's our own distracted presence. Maybe it's the way we reach for our phones when the house gets quiet, or how we fill silences with scrolling instead of stillness, or how we soothe stress with swipes instead of connection. Here's the hard truth. We can't expect our children to develop a healthy relationship with technology if we haven't built one ourselves. But here's the hope. It's not about perfection. It's about awareness. It's about returning, again and again, to what matters most. A moment of undivided attention, a screen-free dinner, a walk without headphones, a pause before reaching for the phone. Just long enough to ask yourself, am I escaping or engaging? Because the heart of this isn't about time. It's about presence. It's about choosing connection in a world that constantly invites us to disconnect. And that choice, however imperfect, speaks louder than any screen ever could. We don't talk nearly enough about the emotional weight that comes with parenting in the digital age. Not just the logistics, not just screen time limits or app permissions, but the invisible heaviness that sits quietly on your shoulders every time your child picks up a device. The constant vigilance, the pressure to know what's trending, what's harmful, what's hidden, the endless decisions. Do I allow this app? Should I track their location? When do I say no? And how do I explain why? You're expected to raise children who are self-aware, emotionally intelligent, resilient, all while shielding them from a digital world that often moves faster than you can catch up. And the truth is, it's exhausting, because behind the screen lies more than just distraction. There are shadows there too. Cyberbullying that cuts deep, inappropriate content that shows up before they're ready, predators who don't wear masks, a culture of comparison that slowly erodes self-worth, one filtered photo at a time. These aren't abstract dangers. They're not things that might happen someday. They're real. They're now. They're woven into the very fabric of how your child connects, learns, and grows. And in the middle of all that, you're still just a parent trying to do your best. Here's what I hope you remember. You don't have to win a war against the internet. You don't have to become a tech expert overnight. You don't have to control every click. What matters most is this: stay connected to your child. Because connection is your greatest tool, your deepest power, your safest anchor. And no, it's not built in one big talk. It doesn't come from warnings or rules shouted over dinner. Connection grows slowly, gently, in small sacred spaces that don't always look special. A moment of eye contact over cereal, a question in the car that you take the time to answer, a shared laugh over a silly video, a hug at bedtime that lasts 2 seconds longer than usual. Those are the moments that build trust, layer by layer, day by day. Start there, not with fear, not with firewalls, but with presence, with patience, with listening, the kind that doesn't rush to respond but simply makes space. Your love is louder than the noise, and your presence is more powerful than any algorithm. You are enough, and you're not alone. Amid all the noise, the pings, the scrolls, the endless updates, there is beauty, quiet, often overlooked beauty. Because while we talk so much about the dangers of technology, we sometimes forget to honor the magic it brings too. A daughter learning to dance, step by step, not alone, but with her mother swaying beside her, laughing as they go. A father and son bonding, not over deep conversations they don't know how to start, but over hours spent building pixelated worlds in Minecraft, side by side in quiet companionship. A grandmother across the ocean, who watches her grandson blow out. Birthday candles through a screen, tears in her eyes, joy in her heart. A bedtime story told through pixels, a lullaby sung over video call. These moments matter. Let me tell you a story. A mother once shared something with me, something I've never forgotten. Her little boy was autistic, nonverbal. For years, she had waited, hoped, ached for words that never came. Until one day, through a communication app on a tablet, he typed, "I love you, Mama." She cried, not because of the screen, but because of the bridge it built. That moment wasn't about technology. It was about connection. It was about hope finding a way. And that's the truth we often miss. Technology, when guided with love, can become a bridge, not a wall. So maybe the invitation isn't to fear this digital world, but to reframe it. Maybe it's not about restriction, but about intention. Not about shutting it down, but about showing the way. We can teach our children, and ourselves, to use technology with presence, with compassion, with humility. To ask not just, what are we watching? But why are we watching it? To wonder not just, how do we protect them? But how do we stay connected? Because this world, both real and digital, isn't going anywhere. But neither is the power of human connection. And when we lead with love, when we stay close, when we choose to be curious instead of afraid, we become the guideposts our children will return to again and again, even when the screens go dark, even when they grow older, even when they don't say it out loud. We are still the bridge. And that is the quiet, enduring beauty of parenting in any age. So what do our kids really need in this digital world? Not just screen limits, not just filters and firewalls, not just a list of do's and don'ts taped to the fridge. Yes, boundaries matter. Yes, safety tools help. But our children need something deeper, something softer, something far more enduring than rules. They need discernment, to understand what's real and what's carefully curated, to recognize when truth is being twisted, when someone's highlight reel doesn't reflect real life, to pause and question instead of just consuming. Empathy, to stay kind in a world that rewards cruelty with clicks, to remember that there are humans behind usernames, to respond not with rage but with grace. Resilience, to face rejection without unraveling, to see a mean comment and not believe it, to stumble online and still stand tall, to know their worth doesn't live in likes. Presence, to stay rooted in real life while swimming through the digital, to touch grass, to make eye contact, to hear their own thoughts in silence, to not lose their childhood to algorithms that never sleep. But above all, more than any lesson, they need us. Not perfect parents, not tech experts, not rule enforcers with all the answers, just present ones. The kind who show up, who make space for questions, who say no when it protects, and yes when it heals, who are willing to pause the scroll, look them in the eye and say, I'm here, I see you, and I'm not going anywhere. Because here's the truth no app will tell you. Your presence is more powerful than any parental control. Your love, when it is undistracted, unconditional, and unwavering, is the strongest firewall they will ever have. That's what keeps them safe. That's what guides them home. Not perfection, not control, but connection. And it starts with you, exactly as you are, showing up, again and again, in this beautifully messy digital age. Before we wrap up, I want to speak, not to the ideal parent, not to the perfect Pinterest version of parenting, but to you, yes you, the real, tired, loving, trying your best parent listening right now. Maybe you feel like you're getting it all wrong. Maybe today was one of those days. You lost your patience, raised your voice, handed over the iPad just to catch a breath. Maybe you're lying awake at night, wondering if you're failing in a world that's moving too fast to keep up. But let me whisper something that you don't hear nearly enough. You are doing better than you think. The very fact that you're here, that you care enough to pause, to reflect, to listen to this moment, means that you are the kind of parent your child needs most. Not perfect, not always calm, not always knowing what to do, but present, willing, still showing up. Even when it's hard, even when you doubt yourself. That matters more than you'll ever know. So give yourself grace. Give yourself room to be human. Parenting in the digital age isn't about flawless execution. It's about intention. It's about perspective. And above all, it's about love. Messy, unconditional, learning as you go kind of love. And if you carry that with you, not fear, not guilt, but love, then you're already doing the most important thing, right? Take a breath, you've got this, and you're not alone. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend, a fellow parent, or even your partner. Because in this noisy digital world, we need more safe spaces. And that starts with voices like yours and mine. This is the Mindwave Radio, reminding you that while the world keeps changing, love never goes out of style. Until next time, stay grounded, stay curious, and most of all, stay connected.